Yeah, welcome to the Aro Benaiah Show, where we spotlight blue-collar entrepreneurs, street people, and hands-on business leaders who are shaping industry from the ground up. Today, I'm joined by Matthew Fornaro, a seasoned business law attorney who has served South Florida for over 20 years, supporting entrepreneurs with legal guidance, formation, commercial litigation, and more. He's also deeply involved in mentoring new attorney and helping small business owner build legally sound and skill business. Mike, it's really a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Aro. Thank you for having me.
Mighty, what inspired you to become a lawyer and how did that journey lead into business law?
Sure. Growing up, I kind of liked law shows and I always knew I wanted to be an attorney. So I went through undergrad, got my political science major, my communications minor, which doesn't really lead to much other than law school. So I went to law school, graduated, practiced law for a number of years for two large AmLaw 200 law firms. And then I decided to go off on my own and focus on helping small and medium sized businesses, which is what I've been doing for the last 10 years.
Amazing. So I work with two AmLaw 200 firm earlier in your career. What did those experiences teach you?
Well, I had the opportunity to go to an even larger law firm. And I decided, am I going to plateau at another law firm and be looking for another job in a few years or whatever? So I decided to go off on my own and start my own law firm, which was a different choice. It was not the traditional choice. And that's what I did. And I've been here for 10 years. It's been fun.
Amazing. So what made you step out and start your own business after years of being in the large firm?
Sure. Well, I, decided that, I want to go, I don't want to say take a risk, but take a risk and go out on my own, which is what I did. And I wanted to, be my own boss, be in charge of things, make sure that everything was done the way I wanted to do it. And that's what I did. And that's what I've been doing for 10 years.
So what are the most common legal mistakes of small business owner make when actually starting out?
Sure. So most small business owners and entrepreneurs are very excited and eager to get into business. So they just kind of jump and don't look, and they don't do the necessary due diligence before they start their business, which involves like having a written business plan and other things like having the correct legal documents in place before they start their business. They just go online, register, and start their business. And it's a problem because their foundation is not as strong as it should be because they don't have the documents in place. And that's probably the most common mistake that most business owners make.
From your experience, what legal documents are non-negotiable for a new business?
Sure. So you have to have a written business plan, which is the foundation for your business. It tells you what you do, what your business is about, how you make money, how you spend money, how you bring people on, how you disassociate from people, how you expand, how you contract. So you have to have that in place. And then depending on what your business organization is, you have to have, like, if you're a corporation, you have to have articles of incorporation and bylaws. If you're an LLC, you have to have an operating agreement. And when you deal with people or other businesses, you have to have contracts in place that govern your relationship and say what your responsibilities and requirements are. So those are all necessary documents that you have to have in your business.
Amazing. I think this is really lovely. And also, how can a business owner tell when it is time to involve an attorney?
Sure. So you really should have an attorney involved before you even start your business. You should have a group of professionals who help you through the journey of having your business the whole time. So you should always have an attorney, an accountant, a banker, and other professionals on your side. And it's never too early to have them on your side because they'll help you start and run your business in the correct fashion.
Wow, early before they actually even get started. That's amazing. So you have handled our commercial litigation. What usually lead business into lawsuits?
Sure. So it's the breakdown of systems that you should have in place. So it's when things happen that ordinarily you could maybe prevent if you have the right documents or systems in place. And then there's other things where there's nothing you can do to prevent the lawsuit happening. So it's generally when you have a problem with another business owes you money, you owe another business money, the other business didn't do what they're supposed to do, another business is violating your business rights, things like that are generally what leads to many lawsuits. Also issues between business affiliates, like people who are involved in the same business, issues with employees and former employees.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Matthew. Can you share more like a close case or situation without naming clients that every business owner can learn from?
Sure. So I had a matter where where a business represented, they were a dog training company, and they came to me after they were ready to get involved in a lawsuit, but they didn't come to me when they started their business or anything. And their issue is that they had employees who had left and took a bunch of information from the business with them and took their client list and everything. And they had an employment contract, but the problem was the employment contract they got off the internet, and it used the wrong law and it had the wrong venue in it. So it was a huge problem because we're located here in Florida, and their venue provision and their law provision was in the state of Wisconsin, which is totally different. So it
Yeah.
was a huge problem because they relied on going on the internet and just finding a document when they could have had an attorney help them, and it would have prevented a huge bunch of issues that they had to face.
Wow, amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Many small businesses are web lawyer due to cost. How can they protect themselves affordably?
Well, they should. At the start of any business, you need to budget that, you're not doing it alone. You have to have certain business expenses that go with your business. And having an attorney is a necessity. It's not a luxury. So when you build in your business model or you build in your budget, you should have an attorney built into that budget. If you can't afford an attorney or an accountant or other professionals who help you, you just need to be as very prudent and careful as possible and make sure you comply with all formalities and make sure you have all your documents in place. But I highly recommend that you have your professionals in place at all times.
Amazing. If someone is starting a business today, what are the first legal steps they should actually take?
Sure. So if you're going to start a business, you need to make sure that you're familiar with what it is you're starting, and, make sure you know about the industry that you're in and various other issues. And then you need to reach out to an accountant, an attorney, a banker, whatever, and set up your infrastructure, and your professionals will help you. And then you need to have, like I said, a written business plan. You need to figure out what your best business organization structure is, and your attorney and your accountant will help you do that. And then once you have that in place, you have to have your governing documents in place, and then, register with the appropriate government agency and start your business.
Yeah, amazing. How should entrepreneurs think about contracts, intellectual properties, and ownership agreements?
Well, you want to make sure you protect your intellectual property because that's a huge part of your business. Whether you're inventing something or creating something, or you have logos or names or whatever. So you want to make sure you protect all that stuff from the inception of your business. And the best way to do that is to have, you know, agreements in place, contracts in place, register your intellectual property with your correct jurisdiction where you're located. And that's all stuff that technically you can do by yourself, but it's very hard and very intricate. So I would recommend, again, seeing a legal professional who will help you do that.
Yeah, thank you. So, what risk come with a verbal agreement or handshake business deal?
Well, it's almost as if you don't have a contract at all because it's he said. So if you don't have it in writing, it doesn't exist. So it's what you say versus what I say is the terms of the agreement. And unless you have proof that show what the agreement is, you have no agreement at all when push comes to shove. So that's why you want to make sure that every deal you make is in writing.
Wow, amazing. Every deal you make is right, and being that you said, I said does not count when it comes to law. Yeah, thank you. So, how do you advise clients when they are scaling and hiring team?
Sure, they have to make sure that they're ready for growth, and that's a business question that they want to make sure that they're financially sound and ready to scale up and make sure that they have the systems and infrastructure in place to scale up. And then from a legal standpoint, if they're adding more people into their team, whether it's ownership or employees or independent contractors, you want to make sure that you have contracts that govern your relationship with them and make sure that you do everything at an arm's length transaction and make sure that you um, like memorialize everything in writing.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you. We have assist more like business or formation. What structure, like let's say LLC, Corp, etc., is best for team? Is best for why?
It totally depends, and that's why you have to have a accountant and an attorney who you consult with, because you can have a business organization, you can have a C corp, an S corp, an LLC, a partnership, sole proprietorship. You can do whatever you want from a legal standpoint. But if it doesn't make sense from a financial standpoint, you're going to have problems when you have to pay taxes or deal with other liabilities. So that's why there's no one size fits all for a business organization. You want to make sure you consult with, at a minimum, your accountant, and you should also consult with your attorney regarding what business organization works best for you from a financial standpoint, and then go with that business organization.
What legal planning should be in place for business that wants to grow, or one day will be sued?
You want to make sure you have your contracts in place. You want to make sure that you comply with all formalities and you follow all laws and you do it in a regular format and you do it consistently. And that'll prevent a lot of issues that would arise that if you didn't do it. However, things happen and you may be involved in a lawsuit anyways. So that's when you want to immediately alert your insurance company if you have insurance, and you immediately want to alert your attorney regarding the lawsuit and start to deal with it.
Yeah, thank you. So, how can business prepare for potential disputes before it even happens?
Again, it's kind of like I just said, you want to make sure that you have your contracts in place. You want to make sure you comply with all formalities, and you want to make sure that you do everything uniformly and consistently, and that'll avoid a lot of issues.
Yeah, amazing. For all our listeners who are entrepreneurs who have get started or who are still more like looking forward to get started, if you are going to have one word of advice for them, being that from coming from the law standpoints, what is it going to be, Matthew?
Sure, it's going to be just prepare uh, before you do anything, no matter what level of business you're trying to take on or whatever. Make sure you do your due diligence and you prepare ahead of time, because you're going to avoid a lot of issues and you're actually going to help yourself grow and deal with adversity if you're prepared, as opposed to just jumping into business.
Thanks for the lovely insight in respect of all the legal aspects of business that need to be done right before business even get to start. So, yeah, thank you so much. And how can my audience connect with you? How can they learn more from you? And where is the best platform to do this?
Sure, Aro. You can reach me at my website, which is fornarolegal.com. It's just my last name, FORNAROLEGAL.com. And it has all my contact information, all my social media, and there's a lot of videos and blogs on there that answer a lot of your general business questions anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Mighty, thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us today. Your insight into legal structures, contract, and business. Legal structures, contract, and business protect will be incredible, valuable for entrepreneurs at every level. To everyone listening, if you want to, you want expert legal support of your business, you can visit Mighty at funarolegal.com. Stay tuned for more conversations that empower builders, doers, and also entrepreneurs. This will be the Aro Benaiah Show, and it's really a pleasure having you on the show, Mighty.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.